It is the end of season 6
Wow.
of the Steam Room, the final episode of the Steam Room for season 6. Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley. There's a certain finality to saying it's the last one of season 6, obviously, and you know, we hope that there's a season 7. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about last night when they gave us the rings.
If for you folks who didn't see that, we did have like a video of the process of making these rings that they gave us last night. Presented it to us in between games last night.
Yeah,
and they're beautiful.
They're beautiful and special. And
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody involved, especially Craig and Luis and Nate and my man from Jostens, because you know when we did the final show outside a month ago, and everybody who works here who really do all the heavy lifting bought their families and turned into a perfect day, because right after we got done, all hell broke loose with the weather.
Yeah.
It was actually perfect temperature when we were doing the show, but I just want to thank everybody who's worked on the show. I mean, obviously, first of all, we have no idea what the hell going to happen next year, which is interesting and funny. We got a job, we don't know what we're going to do, but I just want to thank everybody who worked on the show for the last 25 years with me, and you've been here longer, and Kenny been here longer, and Shaq been here less, but the people we work with are so amazing, and they work so hard, and you know, I got so lucky to get this job, and I got the job by accident. I always want to give love and respect to my man Dick Ebersol, because he's the person who started me in television. I did a friend a favor, Michael Jackson. He says, hey, I need a favor. I said, what you need? He says, I need you to meet with the people at TNT.
This is after you had
retired.
Told Dick Ebersol that I'm going to go to NBC to start your TV career.
He says, just do me a favor, meet with the TNT people. It'll make me look good at work. I got Charles Barkley in the building. I said, you know what, Michael? I love you. You're a good dude. Let's do it. And I ended up spending like 5 hours with the TNT people. And I was like, well, what if this, what if this, what is this? They're like, well, we'll do it like this and you can do it. I said, well, I want to talk about serious stuff, but not all the time. Because if you talk about serious stuff all the time, people get sick of you.
Or if you just talk about basketball.
Yeah. But if you talk about serious stuff all the time, people get sick of it, because people turn into sports to watch sports.
Yep.
You have to be very selective when it's serious or not, because people think everything is serious, but it's not. And I remember calling my agent, like, they dropped me back off at the hotel. We went drinking and smoking cigars afterwards. I called my agent about 2:30 in the morning. I said, hey, man, I got a problem. He said, what? He said, I think I want to go to TNT.
So dinner wasn't enough. You weren't ready to call your agent after dinner.
No.
But the drinking and cigar smoking, did that seal the deal?
Well, the conversation.
Yeah.
Because people ask me why our show is successful. I say it's a perfect mix of seriousness and stupidity. And there's way more stupidity than seriousness.
Yes, there is.
Because, Ernie, I tell people do not turn on sports to hear about, they don't want to know about the murder rate. They don't want to know about, they don't want to talk about climate change.
They want to get away from the economy for a couple hours.
They don't want to talk about the economy. They don't want to talk about Democrats, Republicans, conservative, liberal, whatever. They want to watch the damn game. But TNT, I think we've reached a perfect mixture of like basketball, because that's always the most important thing. Secondly, fun is second. We got to so every now and then we have to talk about something that's serious and not tooting our own horn. I think we've come up. I mean, one of the reasons our show's been successful, I think we've found a perfect scenario. So I did. I called my agent about 2:30 in the morning. I said, yeah. And I said, let me sleep on it. And I couldn't sleep, so I called him back at 5. I said, hey, I'm going to go to TNT. He said, I'll call Ebersol. I said, no, let me call him. And I'm going to tell you why I love Ebersol. I told this story last year when he got in the Hall of Fame. I said, hey, Mr. Ebersol, I want to thank you for suggesting the TV thing for me. I want to thank you for wanting to hire me, but I think I'm going to go with TNT. And he said something. He says, you're going to be great on television, and those guys at TNT are awesome.
Yeah.
That's all he said.
That's
And
tremendous.
he said, if you ever need anything, I'm always on the speed dial. He's always been on the speed dial for these 25 years. So, Dick, I love you, man. Thank you. And I've had some great bosses here. Mark Lazarus, Jeff Zucker, and my man Levy's been great. But all three of my bosses here have been great. But Laz and Levy I didn't spend a lot of time with Zucker, but Levy and Laz were tremendous to me. So I want to thank those guys. But
that's kind of an unofficial first of all start because
yes.
Because you have some more here.
I do.
First of all.
So I want to give a shout out to two people. Remember when they gave us those televisions, HiSense?
Yes, I do remember that, as a matter of fact.
Shaq just said he put his up the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We've had those TVs like 2 years, right?
Yeah, you know what? I gave mine to Annandale Village, where two of my daughters live.
Really?
Yeah, it's a village. It's a place for adults with special needs.
Okay.
And they're building a new center there. So we said, you know what? This is going to be this. You need it, and we had no place to put it in our house. The thing was like going to a drive-in movie theater. So I said, so there you go.
Yeah, Shaq was talking the other day. He says, "Man, that TV's really good. I put it up in my house." I said, "Dude, we had those TV for 2 years." He says, "I've been busy." So I want to give a shout out to HiSense.
Yeah,
and my man Kelly and Cash. So my daughter just moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of HiSense televisions for her house. And I just want to thank the people at HiSense. And if any of you people out there need television, check out HiSense. It's unbelievable. The pictures are amazing. The technology is amazing. So if you need a television, but I want to give Kelly and Cash, thank you for the HiSense televisions, all of them for my daughter's new house.
Welcome back to the Steam Room, presented by
HiSense.
There you go.
Okay, so y'all know I got a new commercial out with Row.co.
Yeah.
Hashtag Chuck. So listen, I want to say this.
And a lot of they just call it Row, right?
Yeah, it's Row.
Row.
So I got really fat the last couple of years when I got my hips, and because I got 2 replacement hips. So I played at 250, but I got up to 355. So I started doing the Zep bound. I started with Manjaro. Now I'm doing the Zep bound. So I want to get to 270. So I couldn't get.
And where are you right now?
315.
Whoa.
Yeah, 315. I started at 355 and I'm at 315. I want to get.
You got this.
Yes, I feel good. But what I really want to say, anybody out there struggling with your weight, go to row.co. Listen, it's an online service. They ship you your stuff to your house. I'm telling you, if you're struggling with your weight, give it a go. Like I say, I got up to 355. I'm down to 315 now. And the crazy thing about it, I hadn't taken the drug in over a year because I couldn't get it, to be honest with you. So I partnered with Row.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Pardon
me if this is inappropriate to ask, but is it affordable for most folks?
Yes, it is affordable, and it's covered by insurance. When it was just strictly a diabetes drug, I don't think it was affordable, honestly. Wegovy, Manjaro, and there's one more I can't remember. They were really made for diabetes.
Right.
But they now make the Zepbound just for people who want to lose weight. And like I said, if you're struggling with your weight, now you're going to have to change some eating habits. You just can't shoot a needle once a week and think you're gonna lose weight. I had to change some eating habits and things like that. But I started at 355, I'm down to 315. I wanna get to 270 because Dr. Andrews told me, ain't no fat old people. If you're fat and you're old, you're gonna have a lot of health problems. So I don't want that. Man, I just turned 62 and I wanna be here because I got more money to spend. I don't wanna leave it for my freeloading relatives. I want to be here, so I got to spend some money.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Steam Room, presented by HiSense and Rogue.co.
That's it. So you know how I hate the internet?
Yes.
Because it's littered with scumbags and people who are awful people. But I've actually found 2 amazing people who people should listen to. One guy's name is Jeffrey Mead. I think he's a very insightful brother. I started listening to him, and he's really fair and balanced. And there's another brother named Javon Cross. So I'm recommending Jeffrey Mead and Javon Cross because most of the people on the internet are scumbags and losers. Okay, I figured that out. But I just got on social media on my Instagram. That's the only one I do because I wanted to. They told me I need to do that for my vodka and gin business. Shout out to Redmont too. But listen, so check out Jeffrey Mead and Javon Cross. They're two insightful brothers who only bring, because if you go to my page, I only retweet positive stuff. I never look at my comments. And I told the girl who runs my website, if you ever look at comments, I'm gonna fire you. That's you, Victoria. So hey, take a listen. Okay, I'm gonna finish up with a couple sad things. Val Kilmer. Never met Val Kilmer, but man, I love me some Maverick. I enjoyed watching him. One of my favorite Westerns was when he was Doc Holliday. So to the family of Val Kilmer, what a tremendous, tremendous actor. Passed away way too soon, but I had to acknowledge, man, what was he in Maverick? I forget his character's name. It was a great name.
In Maverick?
Iceman.
Yeah, in Top Gun.
In Top Gun. He made an appearance in a new Top Gun, but Iceman, that was iconic. And so rest in peace, Val.
You can be my wingman
any day. And this one end is sad for me. You know, one of my great friends, Gary Godfrey, him and his wife, Kara, are two of the most amazing people I met in my life. So Gary has ALS.
Yeah, and you've talked about him often on this pod.
And he is the most annoying dude in the world because he's always in a good mood. And you know it drives me crazy when people are in a good mood all the time. Gary and his wife, Carol, they have handled ALS. It's the most amazing thing, man. Sometimes I love the guy like a brother. I played with him at Auburn, but his spirit and courage is one of the most amazing things. And he introduced me to this young brother named Tim Woody. And Tim passed away the other day. Tim had ALS. He was only 36 years old.
Wow.
And I just man, we are so lucky as people. I met Tim a couple times with Gary down in Auburn. And this dude had such a positive attitude, but he was only 36. And anybody out there suffering from ALS, man, I sympathize the pain and suffering that you go through. And Gary and Tim, man, they handled it with such grace and dignity. And that young dude passed away at 36 years old. And it hurt me when I heard about it because I was like, wow, 36. So you people out there, man, don't take your health for granted. Like some of us, I just turned 62 and you're almost 70, and to still be here. I mean, you think about that. If I died at Tim's age, I'd have been dead close to 30 years. That's how crazy life is. And you take everything so for granted. And don't take your health for granted, man. Take care of yourself because, man, that ALS stuff, it is brutal. It is brutal. And I just want to acknowledge Gary and wish Tim's family, he got a wife and a beautiful young daughter that he's not going to see grow up. But to be gone at 36, that just sucks, plain and simple.
That's very it's very strong, Chuck.
Yeah,
it's very
man,
powerful,
36. Today.
Enjoy today.
Yeah.
Get through today. Tomorrow takes care of itself.
Yes.
We'll get there, but enjoy the moment.
Appreciate your health.
Exactly.
Yes.
Good way to start the final episode of season 6.
Man, basketball been fun, hasn't
it has. And this is presented again by HiSense, Redmond Vodka, Row.co, and Scumbags and Losers.
Scumbags and Losers on the internet.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Look in the mirror. You're one of them.
We are back inside the steam room for this final episode of season 6. I know we've done this before where we surprise you with guests. We surprised you with Dan and Shay. Remember?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was
Shout out to Dan and Shay.
That was a stunner.
It was a stunner.
But I know you appreciated it.
I did.
And another time I kind of strung you along, and all of a sudden it was Tim Kiely, the legendary longtime producer.
Why do you keep calling him legendary?
Because he is. But this time, Chuckster, I don't even know how to describe this. You know this person.
Uh-oh.
It's the legendary longtime producer of Inside the NBA, Tim Kiely.
Oh, God.
There goes my dog, Chuck.
Hey, my dogs, my cats.
Dog my cats.
Dog
my cat.
So I was arguing with Ernie last night.
It wasn't really an argument, was
So
it?
Ernie always says, dogs my cats.
Dog my cats, not
Dog
dogs.
my cats.
Just dog
What
my
the hell
cats.
does that mean?
I have no idea, but it's fun to say. It is. It's like, well, I saw it also in a movie once that James Woods was in. And it was just a term of surprise because he was responding to somebody who said, well, dog my cats. So dog my cats is fun. It's kind of like the old Slap Maxwell line, hey, the nickels are out of the bank. It doesn't mean anything. It's just fun to say.
Just when I think you can't get in and nerdy.
But hey, Slap Maxwell was a good show. Dabney Coleman. Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one?
I
TK?
never even heard of that before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he played a sports writer. Yeah.
Yep.
How old are you two?
You already told everybody I'm almost 70, so
Like,
yeah.
I don't remember that. What's the name of that show again?
Slap Maxwell. You would actually, if you know how you went back and watched Golden Girls,
Yes.
go back and try to find Slap Maxwell. It's hilarious.
People talk to me all the time. They're like, yo, man, do you have a Golden Girls mug on the desk? I'm like, yeah. I for some reason, I started watching the Golden Girls. That's one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah. Well, Slap Maxwell.
Yeah.
The cows are out of the barn. The nickels are out of the bank.
Hey, how did the Steelers do in the draft?
Chuck, all I can tell you is what we talked about last night. I'm sorry to report, Ernie, but the Steelers did whatever they do in the draft, but they got rid of that bum Pickens from Georgia. He's a bulldog, Ernie, but wasn't much to be counted on.
Okay, I'll get over it.
Yeah, TK, you know it's interesting. So that goes back to when we're talking about sports. When people make trades and people are shocked, people make trades. I always say it's easy for us to say that was a good trade, that was a bad trade. I says the only people who know the situation are the people around you every day. Clearly, the Steelers thought like we got another AB situation. Let's get out of it before we have to pay him. That's what it seemed like, correct?
Yeah, they were scared to death that they would play out the last year, next year, and he would just implode because he goes crazy on the sidelines and all that sort of stuff. So it was like, what do we do with him? If we get rid of him and try to get anything for him, and they got a third round pick. They got him in the second round a couple of years ago, so they got something for him. And but he just seemed like a lost kid. He just doesn't. People around him are telling him, you should be catching more passes. You should be catching more touchdowns. And that seems to be on every team in the NFL now.
Hey, TK, as not that I hate to get away from Steeler talk, but Charles and I were discussing the ceremonial rings from last night. It was really cool. The entire studio crew was there. Luis and Craig and Nate kind of presented us with these rings that were specially made, and all the crew were gonna get rings, which is really great because it's the end of this era of no more NBA on TNT when these playoffs end. What will you always remember about that as we kind of turn a new page and we'll see how this new one works. But of all of your years here, what stands out?
Well, I last night was, like you said, very touching, and I was very surprised, as I'm sure you guys were. But my biggest takeaway from last night was, hey, he's got a ring, Championship Chuck.
Hey, it's interesting because we're gonna do stuff obviously going forward, but when TNT invited all the families when we did the show, the kickoff, the playoffs basically, then the ring thing, I think in those moments you're like, wow, no matter what happens going forward, we will never be the same again.
You're right, Chuck.
Yeah.
I thought that way on opening night in Boston when we were doing the show outside.
Yeah.
There were just these certain moments that say, "Oh, this is the last time we're going to do this."
Yes.
Or All-Star. That's the last time we're going to do that.
No more All-Star.
The show at the Mansion, the rings last night. I tell you, when we wrap up this run before we go on the road for the Eastern Conference Finals and we do the last show in the studio, that's gonna hit different.
I agree with you guys. It's been weird this last year, like you said, Ernie. I mean, every time I do X, it might be the last time, or it will be the last time, and it's just looking back over the years and thinking of all the things that we pulled off that were funny. And like the other day I was surfing, one I forgot all about, Ernie, was you were asking about moments earlier, was when you did the thing with Salim Sobers and we did the decision.
Yeah.
Remember with Will LeBron shave his head like Charles wants him to?
And we dressed Salim up to look like shooting over his shoulder. And I'm just asking the questions about coming home and getting taking the hair down and just using his answers from the decision.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then the best part was when we got off the piece and came back to the set, Kenny had already walked off saying, "I have nothing to do with this. That went too far."
Yeah, exactly.
Our brave Kenny, who will stand you. He's with you, win or draw.
He went you through thick and thick.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's so amazing about when they did the documentary? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
30 years. It
More
was
like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Inside Story. It's available on Max, by the way. If you get on Max, you can watch it again.
Brought to you by Max, Ernie.
Yeah, that's right.
Audrey Jr. Audrey was the producer.
I love me some Audie.
Yeah.
What was really funny about that show, I didn't remember doing half that they showed. Like in 25 years, you're like, oh, I remember doing it, but it was so long ago. Some of the stuff we did, I forgot half of it, and it brought back such tremendous memories. Because I'm like, oh my God, we did do that. Yeah. Oh, we did do that. Oh, we did do that. But it was crazy because you forget a lot. I like when we went back and did the Kobe commercial with Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
One of my favorite moments of all time.
It's definitely one of my favorite moments of all time.
And it just worked out so perfectly because he had a huge game.
And to see his reaction.
Yeah, we're all watching it for the first time.
Yeah, and to see Kobe's reaction, man, I miss that kid so much. But to see his live reaction to the commercial was hilarious. Yeah. And when we showed it again recently, you just laugh so hard because, 25 years is a long time. I mean, it's a long time. And you get to know these people. I told some people, there's some people who bought their newborns in, every year during this time, all the parents bring their kids in because all the prom people want to say hello to us. And you see them when they go to the prom. Then you see them when they graduate college, you're like, holy I met you as a newborn. You came in before the prom. Then you came in when you graduated.
And now you're coming in with your kids.
Yes. It's so crazy.
My twins are 28, Chuck. 28. You guys gave us a shout out on the air when they were born.
Yep.
That's how long ago it was.
So how's the wedding planning coming, TK?
It's great. I'm not doing anything. I just say, yes, honey. Yes, honey.
Yeah.
Yes, honey. Sign the check. Okay. No, we're excited. It's going to be fun. He was going to go to the big city in New York, and then he met an Atlanta girl, and that's the end of New York. So,
hey, it happens. It happens. It's man, TK, I cannot wait to see you that day because there is nothing. Well, there are very few things. There are moments in life. One of those being you marry off one of your kids. That really, really is special, and there's nothing that can prepare you for that moment.
Yeah, like
and you look up there and you see your son or your daughter.
Well, no, the moment I knew you had great courage, Ernie, not that I didn't before, was when I saw you at Eric's wedding and you were dressed in Vietnamese garb.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the best example of a dad being a good dad.
Well, the worst and the best thing is when you have a daughter, when you have to walk her down the aisle. I don't have a son, so that don't seem like a big deal. But when you walk your daughter down the aisle, that's when it's like, and you like, here's my most prized possession. Take care of it.
Yeah.
I mean that was really hard for me. And I try not to
cry, Chuck.
I ain't gonna lie, you did.
I did. I teared up because
counts.
Because you just hand off and go sit down, and then it's on.
But let me tell you this, because you talk about you had a daughter. I've married off a son and a daughter, 2 daughters as a matter of fact. But when Eric got married to Quinn, and that's why we had two ceremonies, one Vietnamese and another traditional the night before, and so when I got married, my dad was my best man, and I gave him for his best man gift a pewter beer mug, because we used to like to sit down and have a beer, watch golf on TV, that kind of thing, but a pewter beer mug that said, my best man, my best friend. And that was always on his mantle. So when I was Eric's best man at his wedding, about 20 minutes before we went out there for the ceremony, he calls me in a room, sits me down, has something for me to open. I open it up, and he's gotten me a beer mug that says, my best man, my best friend. And dude, I was a mess. Eric
ain't got no better friends than you.
Oh man,
he ain't got no better friends than you.
He does, but
he got an old friend.
He's got a lot of friends. Yeah. But that moment, woo, man.
Oh, I would be Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm glad we had another 20 minutes before that thing started.
You kind of quietly funny. Eric's hilarious.
Yeah. He is hilarious.
He is. He sends me texts all the time with being funny.
He needs that good sense of humor now as a father of 3.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So TK, you started at ESPN, correct?
Yeah, I was in local TV before that in Pittsburgh, and then I went to ESPN and then a few other places, and then I ended up at Turner.
This is the longest I've ever talked to you without you mentioning Dan Marino.
I played football with Dan Marino, Chuck.
Hey, I tell you what, you talk about obviously a great player, one of the good dudes. He is one of the best dudes. And when we say, he's like, oh, you working with my guy Tim Kiely? I'm like, yeah, I know. He tells us every day he played football with you. Trust me, I've heard it 1,000 times.
He's the Iceman. He's my man.
And I talked to Dan Marino, and he tells me how he played with Tim Kiely.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. He says, okay.
Yeah.
Nice try. So just coming full circle for you, we're going back to ESPN going forward.
I'm going to make sure my check still says WBD on it.
Well, I'm going through.
It will. We'll still be doing some stuff for TNT.
Absolutely.
I was joking with Ernie and Shaq and Kenny last night. So they killing SWAT is one of my favorite shows.
We're not, though. You're just talking about television in general.
Yes. So they killing. I watch SWAT every Friday night. Every Sunday night I watch The Equalizer. They're killing Queen Latifah. They're killing FBI International and FBI Most Wanted. So 4 of my favorite shows are getting canceled.
You'll replace
And I said, yeah, And one good thing about this network we work for, we see commercials. So good thing we got Sister Wives and 1,000-Pound Sisters. Got to really look forward to watching those two gems.
Chuck, they're smash hits. Just ask the marketing folks.
Y'all killing SWAT and Equalizer and FBI shows, and I got to watch 1,000-Pound Sisters and Sister Wives. Y'all killing me, Petey. You're killing me, Petey.
Are you talking to a TK as like a TV executive?
He is a TV executive.
I know he is a TV executive, and I just so
TK,
do whatever you can to change the programming.
Change the programming
in television as a whole.
I need my shows, man.
I know. I'll get on, and I just want to know, Ernie. I actually, which never happens with me, but I have a basketball question for you guys.
Yes.
All right.
Do the Knicks have a chance to get into the Eastern Conference Finals?
Sure.
Let me tell you something. I'm not going.
They're up 2-0 on the Celtics.
I'll say this, TK. I'm already packing for New York.
Well, I want to know if you're already thinking about that white sauce.
I'm thinking about that street meat. You know, I Chuck love the street meat. You know, I felt we had a funny moment on the show last night.
Yeah, we did.
No, we were talking about the bar in Boston.
Yeah, TK's buddy runs it.
Well, hey, first of all,
Bill Fairweather.
Bill Fairweather is your buddy? Wow, I never seen him drink.
Man.
I never seen him drink water before.
You're one to talk.
I'm not a water drinker, you know that.
I know.
Not drink water. Water tastes like water. Vodka tastes like vodka. And tequila tastes like tequila. Not
Okay,
gonna
where
lie.
were we?
No lying here, folks. So, it was really one of those things where you're like, you took the crew got a great meal in Boston, and I was like, shame we're not gonna see it this year, because like we need to start looking at restaurants in New York City, because I'm not the beauty of sports. The beauty of sports, they're so amazing. And New York, they are so annoying because they think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're going crazy right now, and rightfully so. But the Knicks were 0-12 in the regular season against the top 3 teams.
0-10, yep.
0-10, excuse me. And now they go into Boston. They're down 20 in both games. Like, if you don't love that, like, there's not a single person picked the Knicks to beat the Celtics. Like, you would have had to been crazy to pick the Celtics, the Knicks to win that series. And now for them to go to Boston and win both of those games, man, that's what makes sports amazing and crazy. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Hey, TK, thank you for being the surprise guest. Chuckster was elated when he saw your mug on there.
I could tell how joyous he was.
Yeah. So
I just hate when you call him legendary.
he is legendary, longtime producer of Inside the NBA.
He's not a legend.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, Ernie.
Yes, you know that. TK, your favorite producer of all time.
He's the only one we had. That's why he's your favorite.
No, we've had other producers, and me in my career
Okay,
of 40-something years.
Okay,
Never
but
had
you've been here for 40 years.
No, I've been here this is my 36th.
Okay, that's
But I've
40.
been
You
in
round
the-
up. Didn't I tell you that?
But I've been in TV since 1979. That's a long time.
Who was you? Like, was Walter Cronkite on the show with you back then?
No, but Dan Rather was anchoring the CBS Evening News at the time.
Ernie, before they kick us out, can you tell Chuck the story about when you were leading the news in Littletown, Georgia, whatever it was, and the prompter or the tape machine went out?
Oh, yeah, in Macon. I'm anchoring the news in Macon. Yeah, it's my first TV job, and they had just started with videotape and making the transition from film to videotape. And the machine went down, the videotape machine. We only had one to run the stories. And so it went down, and the news director got in my ear as I sat there ready to anchor the 6 o'clock news and said, our machine is down, so lead to the piece, and we'll go to black, and then you come back and apologize. So I did that 3 times as in the first segment of the news. So-and-so's, oh, this is happening, and blah, blah, blah. Rick Treptow has that story. And I looked off, to watch it, and then we dipped to black, waited a couple of seconds, came back up on me, and I said, we seem to be having some technical problems. We'll try to bring you that story later. On to the next story, lead to it. sorry, we're having technical problems.
Oh,
We'll
my.
try to get to that story. So there was no effort to say like, hey, let's just do these stories and take a commercial break. No, it was just you lead to it. You apologize and move on. And that's what I did. It's one of the great stories, though. That's the thing. TK and I starting out in local TV, we've swapped stories forever because we've all got stories like that are just
That's hilarious.
priceless, and you never forget it. So anytime we have something go wrong on the or a wrong tape roll or anything like that, your mind can't help but go back to, remember, look down and apologize and move on.
That's all you can do.
TK, it's great to have you again. And
Great to be here, boys. See you tonight.
See you tonight, brother.
And next time we have you on, let's get a tight shot of your face. We'll take a break here on the steam room and come back. We got some phone calls tonight.
Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Come and join us in the steam room. Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room.
Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room.
We are back.
Speaking of that singing, I bumped it at the hotel the other day. I bumped into Teddy Swims.
Did you?
Man, that dude got a voice that's so amazing. And I was walking in the lobby, and I'm like, man, that dude looks like Teddy Swims. And I guess I got closer. I says, oh, that is Teddy Swims.
Did you have a conversation with Teddy Swims?
I introduced myself and said hello, and he said, hey, I'm a fan. I said, I'm a big fan of yours, man. I love your voice. Continued success. It was pretty cool.
Great.
I want to see him in concert.
Did you not work that out while you were saying hey?
No, I
want to see you in concert.
I want to get personal with the dude. Just want to say hello and acknowledge his talent.
Well, if you'd said, I really want to see you in concert. Well, I'm going to be. Was he performing here in Atlanta?
I don't know. I didn't get to that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's like people. You think
so
I want
pretty
people
deep
walking up to me and
conversation.
say, "Hey, can you get me basketball tickets?"
No, but
No. Hey, say, hey, Charles. It's nice to meet you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you for acknowledging me.
it's a little bit different though.
What's different?
In that,
Hey, can I get some concert tickets?
no, I'm not saying you say, "Hey, can I get some concert tickets?" You say, "Hey, so are you? You got a show here?"
Well, won't y'all let me off one night? It's like this playoff thing like a real job right
Yeah,
now.
it certainly
Working
is.
every day. I'm gonna tell you something. Working every day sucks. I'm not even gonna fake it.
Yeah,
Just like a real job right now.
you'll make it. We always wrap up the show with
With two things.
Yeah, with two things. Are you gonna just interrupt me?
Well, you said one thing.
No, I said we always wrap up the show with Chuck's answering machine and Good for the Soul. And so we've got a bunch of calls for this last episode of season 6. Let's get to it.
Hello, world. This is Charles Barkley. Leave me a message.
Ernie, Chuck, it's Stav, original loyal steamer,
Yes.
calling from Australia. Well, another great season. Amazing work, fellas. I couldn't get you beer after all these years.
Thank
Chuck,
you.
I know you're dying at first.
Yeah,
But,
I am.
Well, maybe it's not the next best thing, but it's the best I could do. Anyway, accept this little gift from me, from down under. Cheers, guys.
Oh, look at this.
What is it?
Oh, wow, a bunch of swag. There's Hawks Brewery, Hawks Brewing Company. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, just a lot of, and T-shirts. This is
Stop.
tremendous. This is tremendous. Is the Hawks Brewing Company a little koozie for you?
Why can't he get us alcoholic beverages?
It's a supply chain thing.
That's what they say every 4 years.
And now when you're trying to, there's a 3XL from Hawks Brewing. So is Stab's is that his job with Hawks Brewing?
Do you think he was
Yeah.
sending us somebody else's?
No, it doesn't mean he has to be. He just may have a connection there.
Well,
And that's
that
maybe where
doesn't
he
make
was going to
sense.
where he was going to get his beer. And there's
That
a
doesn't
nice,
make sense.
Yeah. So we got letters here too.
Wait, he wrote letters?
Yeah.
That's
So
impressive.
That's tremendous. Thank you, Stav. That's really cool, man.
So
Very thoughtful. of
Your
you.
theory is he sent us somebody else?
No, I'm just saying maybe he just had a connection to Hawksboro. I didn't know he was with him and said, "Hey, I could get you some beer."
Does it? Yeah, that's what he said.
I know.
He wouldn't get us beer from some other company.
I know, but that's way before tariffs. Okay, next call.
That's right.
Charles and Ernie, it's Frenchie. Want to tell you another great job with the steam room this year. I don't know how y'all haven't got kicked off yet, but supposedly people still want it. Ernie, Wiki thinks PG at times. And Charles, you still owe me some money. Ain't my fault Oklahoma football laid down last year. God bless, and keep it rolling, boys.
Jeff Francoeur, the legendary.
He's one of my favorite people. I got to do his podcast. I owe him a podcast. I owe him some money too. But
Apparently you do. Yes.
I do. I owe him a podcast because I'm going to do his podcast. He's such a good dude. And one thing I love about him, and I think I saw the same.
Pure Athlete is the podcast.
Yes.
I was on it. Yeah.
So the thing I love about him, and I think I saw Tom Glavine talking about it also, about how shitty these parents are.
That's the whole thing about Pure Athlete too. It's just like talking to parents about how you handle kids sports and just talking about kids sports in general. And it's really good.
It is good, but like one of the reasons I don't go to high school games anymore is for one of those reasons. Like these parents are they just suck. The yelling and the screaming at the coach, the players and the referees. I'm like, stop trying to live your life through your kids' sports. Be positive, man.
I was looking the other night. Sorry to interrupt you. I was just looking what you do. You scroll,
yes,
and you come across. I saw a video of a 9 and under baseball tournament for kids, 9 and under, and one of the coaches coming out, bumping an umpire, going after him, and I mean, it's just like, stop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you doing? This is 9 and under. And it's not, even if it's a high school, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Think of the example you're setting for these players that you're coaching. Stop.
I only put positive stuff on my Instagram, and I saw a kid the other day, cause like I said, I end up scrolling probably pretty much an hour a day, but I only repost positive stuff, no negative stuff, and I never read comments. And this young kid was crying because he lost. And his dad was like, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "We lost." He says, "Did you do your best?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, we don't cry. That's all I want you to do is do your best." I'm like, this is going on my page.
Yeah. Like,
I only repost stuff that's positive. But this father's like, did you work hard? Did you do your best? We're good.
Yeah.
And that's all you want. Like, you can't scream your kid to the NBA or to the NFL. No matter.
I love that.
Yeah.
You can't scream your kid to the pros.
Yeah. And you can't be screaming at the coach. You can't be the ref. Hey, ref missed calls.
Yeah.
I said, come on, man. Stop being one of those parents.
You're exactly right. Next call.
Chuck, it's Biz. Congratulations on another season in the bank. Love you guys. Love the show, and of course your ongoing support of hockey in general. So we love you guys. My questions for both of you were: I know that Shaq Hyman's been a little bit more in the mix, but between the two other knuckleheads, who knows the most about hockey? Either Shaq or Kenny, from a knowledge perspective. That's my question. So we'll see you boys soon, and congrats on another season. We love you.
Thanks, Biz.
Biz, thank you. Number one,
Biz
great
is a
hockey.
great guy.
Great guy. One of my neighbors in Phoenix. So I love our hockey coverage. And people ask me why I love hockey. I said, man, it's probably the purest sport. What I mean by that is you never hear any BS in hockey. They're just trying to win the Stanley Cup. That's all they care about. There's no prima donnas. There's no attitude. It's like, let's just win the Stanley Cup and get your name. That's why I love hockey. First of all, Kenny and Shaq have never watched a hockey game in their life.
This is a dead heat in terms of hockey knowledge.
This is 0 + 0, Biz.
Yeah.
Shaq has never watched a hockey game in his life, and Kenny's never watched a hockey game in his life. But, I've been blessed to get to know, going back to Philly, Eric Lindros. I have 2 jerseys in my house in Philly. My 2 favorite Philadelphia athletes are Ron Hextall and Brian Dawkins. Those are the only. I have a condo in Philly where I live during the summer. And Ron Hextall and Brian Dawkins are my two favorite Philadelphia athletes of all time. So I didn't know anything about hockey till I got to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I got to and their locker, we kind of basically shared a locker room. And sometimes we play like a day-night doubleheader, and I'd see all the hockey players. And I got to know Eric Lindros a little bit. I know Ron a little bit. But no, Ernie and Kenny.
I love the sport. You mean Shaq
I
and
love
Kenny.
the sport. Shaq and Kenny know zero about hockey.
I was a huge Atlanta Flames fan way, way, way back in the 70s when the Atlanta Flames came to town.
Are they the Jets now?
They were the Calgary Flames.
Calgary Flames.
Yeah, but when they were the Atlanta Flames, we would go to those games, and it was, I mean, I fell in love with the sport. And I remember being at Perimeter Mall here in Atlanta one day, and this is, I'm 14, 15 years old or something, and I'm like, that looks like Jon Stewart of the Atlanta Flames, who's over there looking at clothes. And it was like, it took every amount of nerve I had to go up and say, "Are you Jon Stewart?" And and he was great. And then Randy Maneri was a defenseman who, when his playing days were done, he was running a dry cleaning business where I took my clothes there one day and I'm like, "You're Randy Maneri." And Randy's still around. He's doing great things with his life. He's very positive. So shout out Randy Maneri.
He's still dry cleaning?
No.
Okay.
He's retired now.
Okay.
Next.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Richardson. I don't know if you remember, I came on the podcast years ago. Your favorite teacher from Long Island. This is now year 24 for me. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I'm foster parent now for my 5-year-old niece. That's exciting. Here's my question. In my class, I give out a bunch of coupons when you earn rewards. Like, you can chew gum all day when you want. You can have a snack whenever you want. Sit where you want, that sort of thing. One of my new coupons the kids like is teach any subject to the class. Threw it in there, not thinking it would pick up, and it's like the favorite one they grab for. So I've had kids make slides at home to teach about Fortnite, soccer, the Knicks, Marvel movies. A kid's dad is a gardener, so he did a whole thing on gardening. So let's put you two in my classroom. If you get a coupon, what would you teach? Any topic you want. You have plenty of time to talk about it. Any interest you have, maybe even outside of sports, that you could just talk on and teach someone about. I'd love to hear what you guys would pick. Good talking to you. Hopefully I'll talk to you again soon. Ernie, my best to your daughter. I know she's a teacher as well, and the year's winding down for all of us.
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for being a teacher. And
for being a loyal steamer and for keeping in touch, because every now and then we'll get texts from him. And
two people I always admire and respect. Well, not just two, a teacher and a fireman, and anybody who's in the armed service. I just want to say thank you. I just have great respect for teachers and anybody who's in the armed service. Just amazing. That's an interesting question. What would I teach? I'd probably teach golf. The reason I would teach golf is probably the only sport you can play, number one, when you get old, and you can play with your kids. I hope when my grandkids get older, they want to go and slap the ball around with the old geezer. I love being out there on the golf course. I love being outside. I love to walk. So when you get older, you can't play basketball when you get older. You can't play football. You can't play baseball. But golf is a lifelong sport. And like I said, it's something you can play with your son. It's something you can play with your daughter.
And you know why you'd be good? Because you've experienced every part of golf, the highs and the lows. You've been to that point where it's like you got no clue why I'm even holding this club, and you've been to the other side where, hey, now you are striping it and playing as well as you ever have. So there you go. That's why you'd be a good teacher.
Yeah.
I would teach. You know what I'd teach? Bird watching. Next call.
Oh my God.
Hey Charles, not too long ago, the Undertaker on his podcast mentioned that he used to play basketball here at the Hofheinz Pavilion in Houston. And he mentioned your name, and he mentioned a couple of other NBA players. So I wanted to know if you had any stories to tell, any history with the Undertaker. Keep up the great work.
So, great question. So when I first was getting ready to go to the NBA, everybody, for some reason, I have no idea, gathered in Houston during the summer and played at Hall's Pavilion. So after I had went to the NBA, I moved down to Houston for the summer just to play. That's the first. I tell you, the first time I met Moses Malone, I heard somebody say, "Hey, fathead," and I didn't even acknowledge it. And I said, "Hey, fat." He said, "Hey, fathead," and I turned and it's Moses. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Moses Malone." He says, "Welcome to the team," and and people know Moses is the most important person in my basketball career. He helped me get in shape. But so yeah, the question was, I spent the summer down in Houston, and I must have played against the Undertaker. It was a great game. That was probably.
Do you remember him?
But no, because he wasn't the Undertaker at that time.
Who was he at that time?
Mark. I think his name is Mark. Mark Coleman, if I remember correctly.
Could he play?
I don't remember if he could play. Well, he couldn't play. That's why he went into wrestling.
Are you making all of this up?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, but that's. I think
Mark
that's
Calloway.
Mark Calloway.
Mm-hmm.
So I was close. Because I've been a big wrestling fan going back to my Leeds, Alabama days every Saturday night,
mm-hmm.
and then I got to know Ric Flair really well and The Rock.
Yeah, I know.
I met The Rock.
How about Mark Calloway?
Yeah, Mark.
Stay on subject.
I didn't. He wasn't clearly he wasn't that good of a player. He went to wrestling.
Yeah.
If he was a good basketball player, he'd be in the NBA. But I was giving him the business.
You remember that much? This is such a made-up story.
No. I don't remember playing against him. But I'm saying he wasn't.
I know, and you're making up this whole narrative. Next call.
No, you think I wasn't giving it to him?
Hey, Charles, this is Alex from Jupiter, Florida, and I'm a long-time first-time. I wanted to know if you've ever seen a paint box that actually really offended you. Because we've taken a lot of shots at you over the year. Love you, big guy. Have a good one.
Alex, of course, of Gone Fishing fame on our show Inside the NBA. He's the graphic artist, or the artiste. Has there been anything that offended you?
Him and Underdog have been so obnoxious since Florida won the national championship. They're kind of like you when Georgia wins. They're just obnoxious. Like, being a good winner is just totally out the window.
Has he created something on the air?
When Georgia wins, you are the worst winner ever. And then now that Florida's winning, these two are the worst winners ever. But to get back to your original question.
Actually, Alex's
question. No. I said something at the beginning of the show. We got two jobs. Make people, and I've said this on many things for people say, well, why is your show successful? I said, two things. We want people, you're trying to get two categories happy. First of all, the people who watch basketball, they're going to be happy no matter what. But if you want a son, a daughter, a wife, or a girlfriend to watch the sport, our job is to make them enjoy it and have fun. That's the only thing that matters. You're trying to make people enjoy, like the people who are addicted to sports, they're gonna watch it no matter what. But if you got somebody in the room with you, hopefully you should want to watch sports with your sons or your daughters. And if somebody laugh at some stupid paint box thing, we did our job.
Yeah.
I'm not sensitive whatsoever, but the most important thing is try to reach two demographics. I want people to enjoy watching sports. So, no, I've never got offended.
And I was not offended, although I thought it was inappropriate when he did put me in that Borat, this green one-piece thing on the beach.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that one? Yeah.
I thought you looked great.
Yeah.
You don't have that for real?
Yeah, and he had me in dress shoes and this green thing, and it was like, I told him, I said, look, those are not my shoes. Next.
Hey, guys, this is Mike from Videotape Land. Really not a big fan of the show, not a long-time listener or first-time caller, but Cap gave me this number to call, so I figured I'd do him a solid. So, Chuck, my question is for you. You're legendary for slapping your credit card down on the bar and telling an all too eager crew to drink it up. Has there ever been a moment when you've gotten the bill and actually flinched at the cost? I'll hang up and listen. See ya.
Mike Winslow. Of the famous pairing of Mike and Phil. Mike Winslow and Phil Barker, the guys who...
he's known as Pretty Phil.
Run tape, huh?
He's known as Pretty Phil.
Pretty Phil.
Pretty Phil.
Oh, Pretty Phil.
Yeah.
But this is Mike.
One of the girls, I forget which one, has him in the phone under Pretty Phil. And it annoys the hell out of me because I'm not under Pretty Chuck. But that's another story for another time. No, Mike, let me tell you something. And there's only, and I'm not saying this to be whatever, it's just facts. It's only a couple people who really work their ass off. That's the crew and Ernie. I mean, I'm not trying to, this is just, I'm out here spewing facts right now. Like, when we go on television at 7 o'clock, and they have to be here like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I don't know what the hell they do for 5 hours. I think it's bullshit, to be honest with you. There's nothing they need to be here 5 hours in advance for, but they have to be here. So I'm going to give them their flowers and say they must be working their butt off. I don't know what they do. I mean, it's a lot of snacks around here.
They get ready for the show.
There's nothing happening.
The reason the show comes off the way it does is because the crew has been there getting ready.
Nothing takes 5 hours. Stop it, Ernie.
That's the.
But secondly, Ernie is the most prepared person that I've ever worked with in my life. So when we go out, and we don't go out a lot, when we go out, I say, hey, drink up. So to answer your question, man, I admire and appreciate how hard y'all work. I admire and appreciate how hard Ernie works. And that's the reason the show been successful. The people behind
But the bill
scenes.
has never made you go, oh, wow.
I'm rich, Ernie.
Yes, you are. Next
Thank
call.
you.
Charles and Ernie. This is George calling from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Massive fan of you guys. And Charles, as you said in Craig Sager's book, Living Out Loud, perhaps the best compliment that you can give a person is to tell them they make you a better person. And I can wholeheartedly say you both do that. Ernie, you have been a broadcasting inspiration for me. I became a sports reporter out of high school here in New Zealand and now working at a business my dad started. My dad passed about 7 months ago from an aggressive prostate cancer, so I'm continuing to live his legacy, which is a great honor. But you lit a flame for me in the broadcasting world, and Chuck, you are just so unapologetically you, and it's so rare, especially in my generation being 27 years old, and it's inspirational to observe and watch. Yeah, I guess come to think of it, I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to say thank you.
Wow.
Been a little stammer for a few years now. Just want to say that and take care and all the best.
Wow. Number one, I'm sorry about the loss of your dad, man. And thank you for the kind words. You know, I've said this before. When we started this podcast, this is year 6. I thought it was the stupidest ever. Because I've actually never listened to a podcast. They're like, because we started during the pandemic. They're like, hey, we need to do something. Y'all got, and Ernie's like, what? I see, Ernie, if you want to do a podcast, we'll do a podcast. And I'm not going to lie, man, it's been one of the most fun things that I've ever been a part of. And the people we have interviewed have been tremendous. There's people who I'm not even in their orbit. Like, I would never even meet that person. And we end up talking to them, and it's been tremendous. So I am so glad we decided to do the podcast. And if we can make you smile, or, you know, like I say, there was a lady who had lost her job, said, hey, I lost my job. I was really down. I was really depressed. And I started walking, listening to your podcast. I'll never forget the soldier from somewhere like in Missouri or Minnesota. I can't remember. He says, like, he says, y'all really helped me with my PTSD. Like, man, stuff like that. Stav, who sent us this stuff earlier.
It's
like
stuff, Chuck, that you never, when we signed on for this, never thought we'd be saying, you know what? One of our favorite parts is that call,
You people.
or somebody,
Yes.
the guy from New Zealand
No,
who called
the
and
teacher
said,
from
yeah,
earlier.
Yeah.
He says, he says, I was trying to connect with my kids and I had them watch it inside the NBA. And I was like, what? Like stuff like that. And now you in New Zealand. I got to get to New Zealand.
Yeah. I heard it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I got to get to New Zealand. I'm not a big traveler, but I think that I need to start traveling more.
We'd like to see
But
that.
number one, sorry about your dad, but
Yeah.
thank you for the kind words
Yeah.
about Ernie. It's been an inspiration in broadcasting.
We appreciate that. And one of the things that we've also started doing in the last year or two is ending the show with something that is
good for the soul.
EJ is good for the soul.
I think that would be a great way to end the show.
Love that idea.
Good idea, Ernie. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Of course, the famous last scene of "It's a Wonderful Life." That's tremendous. So this is going to be so good for your soul, especially yours, Chuck.
Okay, guys, what do you want to say?
Hi, Big Pop.
Okay, it's the last podcast of this season, so we're going to call in and say hello. Hemi, what did you want to say?
I want to say, I need your Diet Coke.
You need his Diet Coke? Okay, we're going to have to follow up with him privately about that.
Maybe he took it with.
You think he took all of the Diet Coke in the world with him? Okay, you know you're not allowed to have Diet Coke, right? He needs some. Okay, say I love you, Big Pop. Can't wait to see you on Friday. What do you guys want to do on Friday with him? Have fun in New York. Love you, Dad.
Oh, man.
You know, was I wrong?
Oh, man. You know, those kids, man. You know, I'll give you and Clark Kellogg some credit. You guys said, because, you know, I was excited, but I didn't know how great it was going to be. You said,
to be a grandparent.
You said it's going to change your life. And you and Clark was like, I said, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They're like, no, you don't understand. It's going to change your life. And it's the greatest thing ever, man.
Yeah.
To all the grandparents out there, it is the most amazing thing. And when my daughters have them FaceTime me, you know, it's so amazing. And my little man, he can't wait for me to get home and take him on the golf cart.
Man, when the first time on that call and you heard, hey, Big Pop, it was like the look on your face was just priceless.
And I owe you a thank you for that. So you were getting an award.
That was the National Sports Media Association.
So I went there with you.
Yeah.
And we were at the reception before the event, and this cute little teenage girl comes up to me and says, hey, Mr. Barkley, I'll take a picture with you. Of course I'll take a picture with you. And I said, who's going to take the picture? She said, my Big Pop. And this little dude started walking toward me. And I said, who's that? She said, that's my Big Pop. I says, I'm going to steal that because I'm actually a big dude.
Yeah.
And that's how I got because, you know, everybody want their name. I says, I didn't care if I was grandpa, whatever. But when that little girl had Big Pop come over, I says,
yep,
that's my name. And I'm a Big Pop.
And I'm Poppy.
Yep, it's unbelievable.
And now Cap says, I thought that's how we were going to end the show. And now Cap says we have one more.
Okay.
Hi, this message is for Chuck and EJ. I have a question. Do black men or white men talk about their children more? America needs to know.
White people. White people.
After we just heard
Ernie,
this from you, I think
but I'm saying
neither can do it enough.
But y'all,
neither can
white
do it
people show
enough.
you pictures of their kids all the time.
You send pictures of your grandkids to
because
my
your wife
wife.
asked for them.
No,
she asked for them.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Her and Dan Lebatard's mom, Cheryl Ann and Dan Lebatard's mom, the sweetest lady ever, they will text me and say, I haven't got a picture recently. But I only send pictures because white people always send you, like, well, you need to look at my grandkids. I'm like, I know they're cute, but they're your grandkids. I only send pictures when people ask for
No,
them.
you do not. You are such a liar.
I've
seen you in public before, whipping that phone out, saying, "Look at Charlie."
When people ask for him,
Look at little Henry.
when people
At
ask
least you're
for
not calling him LFH anymore.
him. Yeah, I like little Henry. I love that little man.
That,
My
ladies
daughter
and
says,
gentlemen,
that's the steam room for year 6.
Yes, it is, and it has been so much fun, and hopefully it.
Thank you for
it
being loyal
continues.
steamers.
Yeah, and apparently they've put together some of their best sights and sounds of from the crew.
This is so
Man,
weird.
there's a lot of unexpected stuff going on here.
Why you have to put our name on the bag? Y'all didn't know who we were?
The ultimate guide to pressure washing. Remember what I said last week when they had the call? They said, if you're in a room with 10 people, what are you going to say that you are the absolute best at? Pressure washing.
I don't even believe that's a thing.
Well, pressure washing is
I
awesome.
got 2 Diet Cokes, and I just y'all guys know how much I love Diet Coke.
You got to read the top.
Well, I got to put on my glasses.
Well, this could take a while. Here come the welding glasses, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that not welding glasses?
What does it say?
Barkley. Oh, wow.
At the top. The top.
It's got my name on it.
Okay.
Charles Barkley. Wow. Now, see, this ain't the ones. This is very kind of them. This ain't the losers in the store that got names on them.
No.
No, seriously. All I'm saying is if you're in a store and you're rummaging through the thing to try to find your name on a can, you're a loser. I told you that. Just grab a damn can. It's Diet Coke. It's a necessary. I should get you to come to the house and do some pressure washing one day.
I would go to your house and pressure wash. I would, Chuck. I love it that much. It's the most satisfying thing in the world.
I'm going to embarrass a girl who works for me. Her name is Cindy Ash.
Uh-huh. This is going to be good. This is going to be some way to end this show.
It is, Ernie. My girl Cindy, who works for Redmont, was pressure washing her house and fell off a ladder.
Hey, that is hilarious.
She broke her arm. She broke her arm and leg, I think.
Is this supposed to be a funny story?
It's not a funny story.
What is this?
Why the hell are you pressure washing? She's all right. She's all right. But she fell off a ladder. Mm-hmm. She broke her arm and leg. And I like...
Hold it. Now it's an arm and a leg?
Yeah.
It was just an arm.
It was an arm and a leg.
And a leg.
And I was... after I made sure she was all right, I was thinking to myself, what a dumbass. Mm-hmm. Cindy, I love you, but you shouldn't be pressure washing. They got people who do that for a living. Ernie does it for a living.
No,
how much would you charge me?
I don't think I've ever pressure washed on a ladder.
How much would you charge me? Well, you can't wash it.
No, I do it free.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of what needs pressure washing when you live in a high rise.
Well, it's probably with siding.
I'm not going to go to the top floor of the Four Seasons and pressure wash outside.
But she was doing her house.
Out of my mind?
She was doing her house.
Yeah. I'd rather go to Arizona and do some pressure washing there. Because I know your house there, you got some things the patio and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
could be
no
pressure
question.
washed.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get you a flight.
Yeah.
You want coach?
No way. This has got to be first class all the way if you want me to go out and pressure wash. And you're going to have to get me a machine because I'm not bringing my own out there.
Damn, this is getting more expensive as we go.
No, and I'm doing it for free.
Well, okay.
I'm doing the actual work for free.
I'm going to feed you.
If you want.
I'll get you some.
Keep me hydrated.
I'll get you some Knob Hill.
Knob Creek.
Is it Knob Creek?
Knob Creek.
Knob Creek.
Get
my bad.
that right.
Knob Creek.
Don't be messing that up. Well, that's it for this edition.
Sorry, Cindy. Not my fault. You're clumsy.
Of the last episode after six seasons, and again, we hope we're back for more. But yes. Some things you just never know. We appreciate the day. Appreciate today.
With this
the
company,
future will take care of itself.
Just for the record, with this company, we never know.
And here's some of our favorite moments, or the crew's favorite moments from season 6.
No autographs, sir. No autographs.
Hi, Ernie.
The RZA, the Jizza, old dirty bastard, Inspector Deck, Raekwon the Chef, You God, Ghostface Killer, Master Killer, Capadonna, Method Man, the Wu-Tang Clan. I know what that was. We're not gonna bring that up.
That's the greatest show ever. I couldn't believe you kept it together that long. Good luck, Cap.
Jeez, that's the whole thing.
I can't believe that. People gonna be like, and that's the thing that's funny. We can't even tell people we're laughing.
I know.
That's what's hilarious.
Oh my.
Oh Lord.
Oh, that's unbelievable.